Later, Ellen, see you never. Good luck with that UK weather. You say that Trump's what since you're packing. We know it's cause your career be lacking. Enjoy your cricket, tea and biscuit. Fuel up and fade out, you stupid d***. Read all about the latest issue. This just in, nobody will miss you.
MC Gene, our Arkansas Eminem.
When Greg Gutfeld and Megyn Kelly set their sights on Ellen DeGeneres, the Queen of Nice didn't stand a chance. Kindness didn't survive, only cold, hard truth. What began as lighthearted criticism turned into a brutal expose, with both hosts pulling back the curtain on fake smiles and behind-the-scenes chaos. Ellen, once Hollywood's beloved dancing talk show host, tripped over her own carefully curated image. Think you know Ellen? Think again. This was a plot twist even her staff saw.
Article after article of people being like, Ellen is a nasty person. And all these staffers started to come out, not for nothing, but I know a guy, I know him very well, whose sister worked for her, who said, you were not allowed to make eye contact with Ellen in the halls of that.
It was all sunshine sneakers and studio dance parties. Ellen DeGeneres, the midday monarch of feel-good TV, floated across screens like a fairy godmother fused with motivational poster. Her brand was kindness, her weapon of choice. Cue the awkward celebrity chats, product placements, and crowd giveaways wrapped in relentless cheer.
Ellen DeGeneres feeling the heat as more employees, past and present, from her show say that they were working in a toxic environment. Some Hollywood actors also speaking out against the talk show host now. Let's bring in Carly Shimkus of Fox News Headlines 24/7. Carly, good morning. Great to see you. So what more are we hearing on this story?
Yeah, so things are really spiraling here, and it's sort of two situations unfolding at once. One of them has to do with a mountain of complaints against the show's executive producers. Some 47 past and current employees have complained to BuzzFeed News. Allegations ranging from toxic work environment, bullying, now even harassment.
Behind the velvet curtain of forced giggles and choreographed cheer, something darker brewed. Not Disney, but dystopian. This wasn't discomfort on a low boil. It was a workplace pressure cooker cranked to max heat and ignored for years. The smiles? Flawless but hollow. The applause? Prompted, rehearsed. The whole show ran with the precision of military drill and the warmth of a Monday morning at the DMV. What looked like joy was just polished tension hiding in plain sight.
On camera, she laughed while she badgered her staff. And so all good things must end. And also the Ellen DeGeneres show. Yes, the 83-year-old entertainer just announced that the upcoming 19th season of her show will be its last. Apparently, she created a workplace more toxic than an Amazon warehouse in Chernobyl. Countless allegations surfaced last summer that the show's work environment was rife with harassment and discrimination. Following those charges, Ellen's ratings dropped faster than Kevin Spacey's pants at a boy band pool party. Try to say that fast.
It was a performance, part tap dance, part televised therapy session, crafted to sell comfort while fueled by control. Viewers saw laughter and lollipops. Behind the scenes, it was stricter than a toddler's diet. Spontaneity was off limits, every moment rehearsed. Human connection? Only if it followed the backstage script. The illusion of warmth masked the machine built on...
If you saw her, this is not a nice person. So she eventually got canceled, but now she's coming back. She's got a Netflix special. That's the right response.
Yeah.
She's got a Netflix special. And here's the capper. On the promo, and apparently there's now articles out about from people who have seen the preview, she plays the victim. And she says, poor me. And she actually has the nerve to say that she was run out of Hollywood.
Every segment, every smile, every tear-jerking giveaway on the Ellen DeGeneres show wasn't generosity. It was strategy. A kindness-branded marketing empire wrapped in pastel colors, powered not by warmth but by control. The set? An illusion. The crew? Replaceable cogs in a machine designed to peddle feel-good moments to daytime audiences hungry for hope. It was the entertainment world's most elaborate mirage, a glittering comfort castle where the only ones actually comfortable were the rich, the famous, or the ones wired with a clip-on mic. But no illusion lasts forever. Like a glitter-dusted Jenga tower in a thunderstorm, the structure collapsed. Whispers became headlines. The fairy dust wore off. And into the wreckage came Megyn Kelly. Not with mop, not with PR spin, but with stilettos, receipts, and a smile sharp enough to slice through 2 decades of manufactured joy. Kelly didn't tiptoe into the chaos. She catwalked straight into the scandal's eye with the battle-hardened instincts of a media veteran who's seen too much spin to fall for sparkle. She wasn't there to soften the blow. She was there to audit the empire. To her, Ellen wasn't just a talk show host with a branding hiccup. She was a mascot of a rotting industry, a glittery distraction masking the uncomfortable, festering contradictions of celebrity culture. And Megyn pulled back the curtain loudly.
I mean, Ellen got canceled for real a few years ago from just being a jerk.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like a single comment she said or something she did, just lots of people saying that working for her was a living nightmare and that she's a jerk. And I think that's probably why she wants to leave, because she hasn't really been able to make a comeback.
Yeah.
I mean, remember how everybody loved Ellen? They're like, Ellen, we love you. Ellen's here, yay. And then that all went away. So she probably has been thinking of a reason to leave, and now she thinks that this is the reason to try to make it look like some sort of, look how afraid I am. I feel how you feel because I'm, you know, of Trump.
Yeah, it was just the excuse. She is, Emily, I watched her comedy special. It was like a huge pity party. It was about how she was lamenting how her reputation has suffered. She's essentially as popular as a pit bull with monkeypox.
Ellen DeGeneres wasn't just a talk show host. She was a poster child for mass-produced virtue, polished perfection, and sold America as daytime gospel. She didn't simply perform niceness. She packaged it like a product, complete with a smiley label and a saccharine soundtrack. Behind the twirls, dance breaks, and endless giveaways lay a system so artificial it made Tupperware seem organic. Ellen's success wasn't just rooted in talent. It thrived on compliance. Staff, media, even the audience were expected to play their part, applauding on cue in a loyalty ritual disguised as entertainment. Behind that sparkling set was a fortress of micromanagement and silence. The no eye contact aura wasn't rumor. It was routine. Rules weren't quirky. They were Orwellian. And yet, the media, the supposed watchdogs, became little more than starry-eyed extras in the sitcom of her empire. Megyn Kelly didn't need to unearth confidential memos or stage a sting operation. The dysfunction wasn't hidden. It was leaking from events. Former employees didn't whistleblow. They sighed, loudly and often. The stories weren't isolated. They were everywhere. But the press hit snooze. Ellen's image was too valuable to interrogate. So instead of accountability, we got more fluff. Cupcakes, puppies, and celebrity selfies. Bright distractions guarding a crumbling brand built on forced cheer.
She's putting this on Trump. Do you think that she's going to be, just everybody's going to love her in England?
Especially the jihadis who love the lesbians so much. They're going to love her there. I think she's fleeing for way more than her anger over Trump.
If Trump is truly responsible for Ellen's exodus, shouldn't that go down as his greatest achievement in the last 8? I mean, he should get the Nobel Prize.
He's literally going to have a who's who of left. I mean, the entire 80s music catalog is gone. You got Springsteen, Cher, Madonna. I just don't know why they keep showing pictures of Aaron Rodgers with blonde hair.
What Megyn Kelly saw wasn't just a toxic workplace. It was an ecosystem that thrived on hypocrisy, packaged it in high def, and syndicated it to millions. Ellen DeGeneres wasn't merely protected by the entertainment industry. She was essential to its illusion. Her smiling presence let Hollywood pretend it was still playful, pure, and safe. But behind that sparkly set, there wasn't compassion, there was control. And when the cracks finally showed, the only surprise was how long it took to admit the glitter was just dust. Megyn, no stranger to the unfiltered sausage-making of media, didn't tiptoe. She yanked the curtain. She traced the arc. Ellen's meteoric rise, her carefully managed image, the hollow apologies, the plunging ratings, all playing out like a soap opera written by Karma. While audiences applauded Ellen's dancing, Megyn heard the silence backstage. Former staff whispering about fear, intimidation, and micromanagement, all while the press machine kept buffing Ellen's halo with industrial-strength spin. To Megyn, kindness wasn't a virtue here. It was a brand. And in Hollywood, brands are bulletproof until they're not. But Megyn didn't just point at the wreckage and walk away. She performed a full-blown autopsy. Her central question, how did someone marketed as America's most wholesome figure become so insulated from accountability? Why were whispers ignored until Twitter turned up the volume? And her favorite revelation? The gloriously exposed double standard.
I have a question for you on this. This is perfect for you Because I'm seeing this week that there is an attempted comeback by somebody who did not cross one of those fateful lines of the misstepping on their sacred cows of gender or race or sexuality.
Yeah.
But she was said to be a nasty biatch, and that's Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah.
So her show got canceled after she had this testy exchange with Dakota Johnson, where something happened where Dakota said, oh, I had this birthday party. And Ellen said, well, why didn't you invite me? You didn't invite me. And she said, like, no, I did invite you, Ellen. That's not what happened. And Ellen had blown her off and then tried to play the victim on the...
Because when a conservative so much as sneezes out of step, the media descends like pigeons on spilled popcorn. But Ellen, she got the spa treatment, soft focus headlines, a sympathy narrative, and suddenly she was the misunderstood victim. Cute. Megyn Kelly didn't buy it. And she wasn't about to let anyone else buy it either. She dissected the image, the timeline, and the media complicity like a surgeon with receipts. But just when Ellen's Hollywood protection program started to look threadbare, in stormed Greg Gutfeld, America's favorite sarcastic wrecking ball. Gutfeld didn't bring a scalpel. He brought a jackhammer, a laugh track, and that devilish grin. His first move? Rip the saintly label off Ellen's image and slap on a new one, sponsored by Hollywood Delusion. Gutfeld didn't see a fallen angel. He saw the latest woke mascot who tripped over her own pedestal. And he did what he does best, mockery with a message. Ellen's apology tour? Gutfeld called it theatrical, Oscar-worthy even. Not sincere, not even awkward. Just another performance under studio lights with a script from PR. He laughed hardest at the idea that Ellen was just now learning about the toxic environment she allegedly ran. Oh, really, he quipped. She tripped and accidentally ran a hostile workplace? Gutfeld framed it perfectly. Hollywood sells redemption arcs like vending machine gum. Cheap, sticky, and stale. But when the person in question is the one rewriting the script mid-scandal, it's not growth. It's PR yoga. And nobody stretches sincerity quite like Hollywood.
They must stay in the hell of Trump. We're out of here. By the way, Walter.
I think we could let the illegal aliens stay if we get enough of Hollywood to self-deport.
Yes. I will take 1,000.
You know, exactly.
I'll take 1,000 Venezuelan migrants for one share.
Exactly. If you can get one Hollywood star to leave, you get to stay. Otherwise, it's out.
You know what, though? It's funny. I just want to bring this up to you. You can comment or not.
Yeah.
So she left a celebrity base to go to London, and she's already ensconced with other celebrities. So she's basically still in the same bubble.
She's not going back to London. She's going to Oxfordshire. And as the only person on this set who attended Oxford University.
No, way to drop that
It's true. I can tell you that there is nothing high British Oxford society loves more than a failed and despised American talk show host.
Ellen's obsession with celebrity culture, the constant name-dropping, royal interviews, and billionaire bromance, wasn't just tacky. It was completely off-brand. You can't preach humility with a Gucci megaphone. Greg Gutfeld shredded the whole relatable persona. Ellen wasn't your friend. She was your illusion, shrink-wrapped and syndicated 5 days a week. And Greg didn't just stop with Ellen. He fired comedic missiles at the entire ecosystem that enabled her. The seal-clapping fans, the staff treated like invisible stage props, and a media too smitten with her sparkle to do their job. He wasn't exposing just one talk show host. He was dragging the entire fantasy factory that built her. And then came the apology tour. There stood Ellen, a millionaire in limited edition designer sneakers, tearfully explaining how she was growing. Gutfeld laughed so hard you could hear the echo bounce off every fake plan in her studio. Growing? At 60? In what direction? Toward the exit. He tore apart her "I'm still learning" routine like it was a script of a failed Netflix pilot. Because let's be honest, if you've been rich and famous for decades, the only thing you're still learning is how to dodge accountability. Greg's final thesis? Ellen didn't fall. She tripped over her own image while doing a trust fall into a pile of unpaid interns.
A show, home of Matt Lauer, that the bad press actually had nothing to do with her decision. Right, and the Titanic didn't hit an iceberg. It chose to sink.
If it was why I was quitting, I would have not come back this year. I really did think about not coming back because it did, you know, I mean, it was devastating. I am a kind person. I am a person who likes to make people happy.
No, the real reason, she says, It was just too easy. Telling the Hollywood Reporter, quote, when you're a creative person, you constantly need to be challenged. And as great as this show is, and as fun as it is, it's just not a challenge anymore. Well, if that's true, here's an idea. When your viewership is down 43%, why not consider that the challenge?
Back in Megyn Kelly's corner, the story hit warp speed. She zeroed in on the aftermath, the brand fallout, the vanishing sponsors, the fans hitting pause. Ellen's ratings didn't just dip. They plummeted like a politician strapped to a polygraph. But Megyn wasn't shocked. She saw it coming like a slow train rumbling through Beverly Hills. What intrigued her wasn't the scandal. It was the silence before it. Years of carefully curated interviews, softball questions, and polished puff pieces had trained the public to cheer for an illusion. Ellen didn't just fool her audience. She conditioned them. Kindness became a costume, and once it slipped, the inside was far less flattering. Megyn fixated on the cultural shift. This wasn't just a celebrity implosion. It was a mirror. The public's appetite had changed. People were tired of plastic smiles and manufactured morality. Ironically, the one thing Ellen sold the hardest, authenticity, turned out to be the most artificial thing on daytime TV. Megyn unpacked the echo chamber. Ellen praised by her friends, interviewed by her protégés, defended by her fan club. It was a self-sustaining PR loop, a Studio City snow globe, glittery on the outside, hollow inside. Then Greg Gutfeld re-entered for a final roast. He zoomed out, past Ellen the individual, and saw a broader absurdity. To him, she wasn't just a fallen host. She was a symbol, a case study in how celebrity culture reward performative virtue and punishes those who demand real accountability.
DeGeneres bails for the UK. All right, I'm going to go to you first, Kat, because this is such a, I think you understand this story. So Ellen and her wife, Portia, have left their millionaire haven of Montecito for England. Now, they're saying they'll never come back in the wake of Trump's win. Do you think that's the reason why she's leaving?
Absolutely not.
Greg Gutfeld compared Ellen's empire to a sitcom that forgot it wasn't real. Every laugh was choreographed, every moment pre-approved, and every time she walked those iconic stage doors, she stepped into a version of herself that hadn't existed in years. The final nail? Gutfeld's signature roast. Ellen didn't build a talk show. She built a theme park of self-righteousness. And when it all collapsed, the only thing left was the echo of canned applause and the faint scent of expired vegan snacks. Together, Megyn Kelly and Greg Gutfeld didn't just critique Ellen. They dismantled her myth piece by glittery piece. Not with outrage, not with scandal-chasing glee, but with precision and sarcasm sharp enough to peel the gold leaf off Hollywood's collective delusion. There was no redemption arc here. No slow piano ballad under a heartfelt monologue. This wasn't scripted daytime television. This was reality, dragged into the light and told to wipe off the makeup. Ellen, for all her smiles, became something bigger, a cautionary tale. Not just for celebrities, but for anyone confusing a platform with personality. She wasn't canceled. She was revealed. And once the illusion cracked, not even her sneakers could outrun the truth. Megyn saw the architecture of the lie. Greg threw paint on the portrait. Together, they created a masterclass in media deconstruction. It wasn't about vengeance. It wasn't personal. It was surgical. Megyn exposed the rot behind the curtain. Greg lit the stage on fire and roasted marshmallows over the ashes. And America didn't watch with gasps or horror. It watched with that slow, knowing nod, the kind that only comes when a mask finally slips and people say, "Ah, there it is." This wasn't Ellen's show anymore. It was her final episode, written by karma, produced by reality.